Hello and welcome to Mindful Living, where we explore the art of living with the intention, balance, and inner peace. I am Avik, your host, guiding you through conversations on health, meditation, mental well being, mindfulness, and the mind body connection. Each episode features expert insights to help you grow, heal, and thrive. So, take a deep breath, relax, and join us on this journey to a more mindful and fulfilling life. So, let's get started.
Hello and welcome, listeners, to the Mindful Living podcast, where we explore the intersection of mindfulness, health, and personal growth. Today, we have an incredible guest with us, Darlene Greene, a stem cell activation technology consultant, retired US Navy commander, and co author of the 2024 best selling book, Become Empowered: Echoes of Grace and Strength. Listeners, Darlin is passionate about helping people improve their mental and physical health through groundbreaking stem cell activation technology, mindfulness, and finding joy even in the midst of grief. After discovering an affordable technology that dramatically improved her husband's early Alzheimer's symptoms, Darlene is on a mission to share this life changing solution with the world. And today, she'll be sharing insights on how we can activate our own stem cells, heal from within, and live healthier, more mindful lives. So let's get ready and dive deep. So, Darlene, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute honor to have you with us today.
Oh, thank you, Sana. It's such an honor to be with you today.
Okay, so Darlene, you have such an inspiring journey from military service to holistic health. Can you share with us how or what led you to explore stem cell activation technology, particularly for your husband's Alzheimer's treatment?
Absolutely. Well, he was very young when we first got the diagnosis, I think 64 years old. So far too young to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but early Alzheimer's hit, and he had the gene type from both parents. So we really dug in, tried to find all of the possibilities that would be available. And that we started with gene mapping. We did microbiome testing and interventions. We completely revamped his diet. And actually he lost 80 pounds. We took out everything that wasn't really good for you or good for the brain. So no alcohol, no genetically modified foods, no Diet Coke, only the highest quality fats, organic foods, you name it. We infrared sauna, red light therapy, hyperbaric chamber, ozone therapy, hydrogen water, daily strength and high interval training. We did sleep when I tell you we tried everything, we even went out of country 4 times for IV stem cells because everything in the research kept pointing to stem cells. And nothing was making a difference. At this point in time, what we found was Jim was napping 3.5 hours a day, falling asleep at 7 at night. He was very disengaged, really a shell of his former self, no longer engaging, talking, no longer even trying to be funny. And that was really his personality. So we had a friend of mine introduce me to this technology and said, hey, I know you've been interested in stem cells. I have found something that can actually help you activate your own stem cells without drugs, without injections, and it's very affordable. And I said, sign me up. Really just willing to try anything. Obviously, I was desperate. I had not read the 90 clinical studies yet, many double-blind placebo-controlled studies that have been peer-reviewed. I had not dug into any. I was just like, sure, this is a tiny patch the size of a quarter. And I thought, look, it can't hurt. There was a money back guarantee. And I said, sure, give it a try. And so I have to tell you, I was incredibly skeptical. I had almost no faith that this would work after trying all of these things, very expensive modalities, $3,000 on the infrared sauna, $3,000 on the hydrogen water maker, $2,000 on the ozone water maker. I mean, you name it, I had poured money into it. So when someone said $99 for this stem cell activation patch, I was like, okay, sure. So anyway, we began patching him, and in the very first week, he didn't take that 3.5 hours. He napped every single day for 3.5 hours, and all of a sudden, he didn't nap at all. He didn't fall asleep at 7 o'clock at night. He was chatty. He was chatty like a dam broke, and he had all this he wanted to get out. He was engaged in conversation and replying in a with it appropriate manner. He was not asking me the same questions over and over again. And I think the thing that warmed my heart and soul more than anything is that he was back to his funny and flirty personality, his original personality. He ended up recording the best deep sleep that he had ever recorded. He regained his sense of smell in 5 months. His blood pressure dropped 37 points. Regained the ability to whistle and drum. All these things started to happen for him. His bald spot closed up. His hair grew in dark. So I was just blown away, not only by what I saw happening in him, but I had my own story, right? I had broken my foot. I had completely torn one of the ligaments in my ankle, and the other one was 90%. I required surgery, and I was 5 months in waiting for surgery. I had 4 autoimmune disorders that I had done stem cell activation or stem cell IVs out of country and done all of these other modalities with him in an effort to try to eliminate, particularly one called postural orthostatic tachycardia that causes you to pass out. You don't get enough blood to the brain. And so, they actually prescribe a prescription medicine to elevate my blood pressure. And that's what I was having to do in order to keep from passing out. And I just knew that was a bad idea. I had regular headaches. I had rosacea for my skin. I had been diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia and just a ton of things. So when I first started with this technology, first there's a pain relief patch that gets you pain. And I was stunned by the fact that I put these patches on and my pain went away. I honestly couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it could be true. So I thought, this must just be the day my pain goes away. And there's just no way these little stickers could do that, right? So then I took them off. You wear them 12 hours on and take them off after 12 hours. And lo and behold, in 5 minutes, my ankle went back to throbbing and just hurting. And I was like, okay, we now know that's really this is the patches. But what was also amazing is I all of a sudden had so much more energy in right away. Like I'm in the kitchen cooking up a storm, and previously thinking, why didn't I cooking? I think I just never had the energy at the end of the day. I was able to be a much more patient care provider. Perhaps the best thing for me was that it lifted my depression. I no longer wanted to cry every day. I had a good reason with my husband having Alzheimer's, but when my spirits lifted and I no longer felt depressed, what a difference in life outlook. I was able to live again in gratitude and really be able to be grateful for the moment and live in the moment, being much more mindful, actually. I also had no more headaches. I haven't taken the medicine that they prescribe for elevating my blood pressure since I started patching. I've not passed out once. I've been patching now about 17 months, and I've never had a single issue or event of fainting again. And I haven't taken the medicine. I lost weight effortlessly. My skin cleared up. My rosacea cleared up where dermatologists had never been able to. What happens is it basically gets into your cells and it helps introduce and activate your dormant stem cells, which repairs and can become anything. Your stem cells made you. They made your heart, your liver, your kidney, your brain, everything, right? And so what happens is when you're 30, half of your stem cells are dormant. When you're 60, they're almost all dormant. So, I'm currently 59, and I know I now have all of my stem cells are activated and they're working to my benefit. And I can see that because I don't have the body aches. I don't have all the issues that I had before. And it's just really been life-changing. So the way I got into becoming a consultant was really through my own experience. I couldn't believe it. And so my first week or two, I'm already contacting my family, mom, dad, sister, cousins, aunt, uncle. You need to try this. This is amazing. And one by one, they would report, the 6 years of microscopic colitis went away in 3 weeks. The suicidal depression of one relative went away. The fibromyalgia of another went away. Over time, my mom and dad in their 80s, who were holding on for dear, really unstable, became sturdier and stronger and less of a fall risk. So I was just, I loved getting people out of pain. I loved watching their improvement. So it is not my day job still. This is my passion, but I still work as a director of client services for a technology company. This is what I do in the white space of my day because it brings me so much joy. It's been the silver lining to my husband's illness because I get to help other people feel better and improve their mental and physical health in a way that is so easy. I don't have to be a doctor. They don't need a prescription. It literally it goes to the doorstep in an envelope and it's in 87 countries. So it's just the sky's the limit. And that's how I got into the whole business.
Wow, darling, that's really empowering, and it feels so joyous to know. So for our listeners who may be unfamiliar, can you explain how stem cell activation technology works and how it differs from other treatments like IV stem cells or hyperbaric chambers?
Yeah, great question, Sana. So, one of the things that stem cells have been a bit controversial. Where are you getting them from? Are you pulling out your own stem cells? If you're pulling out your own stem cells, are they even active or are they dormant? But are you getting them from a placenta? Where are they coming from? Whose are they? And that is a different thing. You've got to keep them they've got to be very cold temperature, if not frozen, and they need to be in a time window before they die, if they're alive at all. There's just a lot to it. They're not even available in the United States. They have had some great efficacy in some cases. They are a bit painful and again, controversial. What this is doing, this patch, it works in the same way you have used phototherapy your whole life. When you walk out in the sun, your body makes vitamin D. And most of us do that by now. Or people notice get a suntan because your body makes melanin. That is, phototherapy has been used successfully for 5,000 years. And it's frequencies of light cause specific changes within the body. And we know that if I looked at you with night vision goggles on, I would see light inside of you. There's light there. We see it in the movies, we see it in TV, we see it in our military. So this is called photobiomodulation. So what's neat about this patch is nothing is entering the body except light. This is essentially like a little mirror that is reflecting your own light back into you at a very specific wavelength. Anytime it's near or on the body, it can be in your pocket, it can be on the outside of your clothing for those autistic children who have sensory issues. We just put it on the outside of their clothing. We can, if you're allergic to adhesive, you can stick it on the inside of your clothing facing outward, and it's activated by your body heat and that light to stimulate those targeted biochemical responses. And then when you do this, there's one particular patch that is just super powerful, and it's the one that's activating your stem cells. It elevates copper peptide, GHKCU, and you can actually Google PubMed and Google GHKCU. It's been discovered 50 years ago. There are, endless double-blind placebo-controlled studies that show the benefits. There are books of how to reverse aging, a comprehensive guide to copper peptides. And what you'll find when you look at all the studies is that this is a really powerful peptide. Peptides are kind of big rage right now in medical health care anyway, but they produce, yes, they increase your stem cells and their activity and the freshness, they duplicate them, but they also produce growth factors. They improve brain and nerves. They improve heart health. They improve heat tissue repair. They actually reset 4,200 genes to their younger and healthier state. They have anti-cancer benefits by resetting the programmed cell death of cancer cells without affecting healthy cells, and they repair damaged DNA. And then they actually reset 84 genes to protect against cancer. They protect the lung cells, they improve skin and hair, and they lengthen telomeres. So we have a ton of different elite doctors. I have actually 4 doctors patching. One doctor, not my doctor, Dr. Joseph Peck, who's an anesthesiologist and a 40-year physician, said this is the most significant medical breakthrough in my lifetime. So it's not surprising that you have elite athletes, over 300 Olympic athletes in the 2008 Olympics were wearing our patches for the enhanced performance, rapid recovery, and people that people know, like Michael Phelps and David Beckham and Serena Williams. And today, people like Tom Brady and the Kansas City Chiefs are wearing the patches because they're not going to affect the drugs. I mean, there's no drug in there, so there's not, you're not going to get a drug test that's going to be problematic. And they're actually reversing their age. So they're not only balancing the brain and improving their nervous system and improving cognition and focus, but every 6 weeks you wear this stem cell activation patch, your cardiovascular system acts and functions as if it's 8 weeks younger. And that just keeps getting better. So that GHK actually helps new blood vessels form to promote proper circulation and prevent clotting and restoring the integrity to the vessel walls. So people just really feel better, and things that have been impossible, that there's no Western medicine or even Eastern medicine solution to, like 4 bulging discs, or people who are in end stage Agent Orange leukemia. I have a friend who experienced they were on the deathbed and told, I'm sorry, he had sold his cows, he had given away the farm, and he was lying in bed on painkillers and started patching, and in 3 days was out of bed and watched his T cell count improve and started to have an improved quality of life. And all of a sudden now he bought back his cows and he's fishing and living a very high quality of life. So things that were impossible, that nobody believed, these patches, we're not allowed to make any claims. We're a general wellness product. So we are not intended to cure, treat, diagnose, or prevent disease, even if we do. But they are, as I mentioned, no prescription and available in 87 countries to help people out.
Wow, that's really, really revolutionary, Darlene. And is this technology suitable for everyone, or are there any specific criteria for those who would benefit most from it?
Yeah, good question. So we have people that have patched children to grandparents. There's no real age limit. I think what they say is it's helpful if you are able to communicate. But we've even seen and heard of people patching very small children. But the only people, like I have a client who is a kidney, they have one kidney and is a transplant kidney. And that is someone who ought not use this technology until they are locking arms with their doctor and checking their immune system numbers regularly, because this is going to elevate their immune system very quickly. And sometimes they are trying to keep their immune system down with immune suppressant drugs. And we don't want that. We don't want to mess with that. So that is, in fact, the only, it's not that they can't, we have people who do, but we need to just have them holding hands with their doctor very closely.
And what kind of accessibility this technology has? How can listeners access the stem cell activation technology, and what should they expect during the process of using it?
Yeah. So, there are different patches that do different things. For example, there's a patch that's an anti-inflammation patch, and it was the best-selling patch until we had the stem cell activation patch. There's the patches for pain. Each different patch is elevating a different peptide. That's where I come in. Certainly, people can go to my website, iamreverseaging.com. iamreverseaging.com. They can buy the patches there. My preference is that they reach out to me and we talk through what patch would be best for you. Because if you are experiencing an issue, like let's say you have an autoimmune disorder, then you may want to do, we have a patch that specifically elevates glutathione by 300%, which is your body's master antioxidant and immune booster. If you have someone who is having trouble with eyesight, we have a patch that elevates carnosine. Carnosine is sometimes actually used in eye drops to help with eyes. If someone is really struggling with sleep, we have patches that really help with that. Or energy, we have patches that help with that. So they can connect with me by reaching out on my website and just saying, hey, I'd like to meet with you, or they can order the patches right there. It's important that they know I can get them wholesale prices. So instead of spending $150 for the stem cell activation patch, I can get it to them for $99 US, and they don't have to be put on auto ship. But sometimes people can't find how to do that properly, and that's where I can be helpful. I also like to help in helping people maximize the potential benefits of the patch. So, for example, you need to drink water, half of your body weight in ounces in water every single day. And I recommend putting them by their toothbrush and making sure that they are putting them on in the morning and then they take them off 12 hours later. And that's a way to remember. So there are some nuances. You'll never hurt yourself with them. They're not going to, even if you wore it 24 hours, they're not going to hurt you. They'll just sort of stop working. And then you just would take a day break. But the goal for me is to hold hands with somebody through the process and help them along the way as their stem cell technology consultant. And it's pretty simple because, again, they basically order, and 5 days, if they use express shipping, it's a couple days, but they get shipped to the house. They open up their envelope. They literally throw a patch on, and we're off to the races. So it's and the questions might come about like, well, where do I place that? Well, if you have pain, you pop them right where you're hurting because they can reduce dramatically right on the spot. So there are some things of that nature. Yes, you can swim in them, you can shower in them. Lots of questions like that I get.
Wow. And mindfulness and presence, they're crucial for finding joy in difficult times, Darlene. So how did mindfulness help you stay grounded during your husband's health challenges?
Yeah, I tell you, Sana, there were times through this journey with my husband where I thought, I don't know how people survive this. My husband and I have had a beautiful marriage. He is the most wonderful human being on the planet. He's got a heart of gold. And I feel like it took a lifetime to find him. And so it was devastating to really lose him. And he is really like age 4 now. He probably, the things that improved with the patches have stayed. But to say that this is challenging is such an understatement. It doesn't do it service. And what was happening initially for me is I was dying along with him. It was sort of like the captain going down with the ship. I was a provider, and I was really so sad and struggling. And I know all the mindful things to do. It's one thing to know it, it's another to do it, right? Yeah. We know this. And so one of the things that I found was I really had to be intentional initially just to survive it, because I was struggling to breathe. I felt like an elephant was on my chest. I was, and I was exercising, I was meditating, I was doing all the things I knew to do, even therapy. And still I was feeling like I was having trouble breathing. And so ultimately I learned that I needed to really be present in this moment. In this very moment, I am fine. We're fine. I am fine right now. And if I can live in the present moment and just be mindful of the things that I'm doing at this very moment, whether that's the sip of water I take or the food that I'm eating or the interactions I'm having with you, and stay very present, then all of the worry, we really worry about the future. We have maybe issues with our past, but in this very moment, we're okay. And it took me a little while to get back to remembering that and living that way, and also creating joy in the midst of sorrow. I could be sad every day from now until my husband dies and until thereafter, right? It could be years of sadness, or I can accept where we are and enjoy that I have glimpses of, my husband's personality. He's still funny. He's still flirty. I walk in and he still gives me a big hug and kiss and is happy to see me. And just grateful for what I do have of him, and find and make moments of joy in my life day to day without guilt. That was hard initially. Was anytime I would have fun, I would feel like I shouldn't be having fun. I don't just, I'm in the midst of this huge issue. So there's been a lot of transition for me. It's been a journey. It's still a journey. I'm still in the middle of the journey, but I am a much healthier place today than I was before. And I've actually found not just the silver lining of these patches, but before, when I was care providing for him 24/7, I was sleeping very well. I was 100% focused on him. Since I've actually placed him into a care facility, it's a home about just around the corner, 6 minutes away. They have, 5 people in residence, and they have 3 or 4 care providers, and they're so good. They're so much better at this than I was, and they need to be better, because there's a place in time when they no longer toilet themselves, and there's just a lot to it. And that was maybe the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life. Moving him there was like, it was like a divorce and a death and a move all wrapped up in one. And I really struggled through that time frame. That was in May. But I will say that what it then gave me the ability to do was to go be at my daughter's when she had a baby, to go visit friends, to go on a trip, and to remember that I am an individual, independent human being, and I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay no matter what happens.
Right. That's really empowering, darling. And for listeners who are interested in learning more about stem cell activation technology or connecting with you, Darlene, where can they access more information and stay updated on your work as well?
Yeah. So my favorite place to direct people is my website, which is, again, iamreverseaging.com. So iamreverseaging.com. And in that website, you'll see charts. You'll see the studies of the brain where you can see the reduction of inflammation. Yes. You'll see videos of doctors talking. You'll see the owner and inventor talking about how it works. There's a 2-minute video. There's a 36-minute video. There's a video on how these patches for pets and horses and animals to help their health, what you can expect, how to wear them. There's just more, all the 90 clinical studies. You can click on them. You can open them up. You can read the clinical studies yourself. You can read the patent. So that's a very fabulous place. I'm also in Facebook at Darlene Bennett Greene with an E on the end of Green. I'm in LinkedIn. And I'm available through those means. My favorite place to direct folks is really my website, though, because you can connect with me there, and I respond to everyone that connects with me. And you can research and look at the data yourself. I have a very good doctor friend who spent probably 6 weeks studying reading all of the studies and looking at all of it before starting. And her biggest regret, because she credits this as to saving her daughter's life, who had a very traumatic brain bleed. She just regrets having not started earlier. So, but some people need to look at all the data, and it's there for you if you do. Some people need the testimonials. Those are there if you do.
It's a very informative website, listeners. So I encourage all of you to check the show notes and refer to the website iamreverseaging.com. You can study about the stem cell activation technology patches, the researches, testimonials, connect with Darlene as well. Of course, after listening to this episode on your favorite podcast platform. And Darlene, grief is a very powerful emotion, especially when caring for a loved one. So before we close this conversation, I would like to ask, how can people find joy and remain present while navigating their own grief or caring for someone in poor health?
I'm a big believer in a social support network.
Mm-hmm.
I am in 2 different Alzheimer's support, people who are taking care of Alzheimer's patients.
Mm-hmm.
That has been really helpful because some of them are in a different place in the journey, and having people that are going through what I'm going through, especially spouses, because sometimes it's different. People have parents, but when you're the partner and this is your best friend, and you had a life plan and it's now derailed, there's just a difference here. They haven't had their full life ahead of them. So getting in touch with those types of support mechanisms, I think, have been really helpful. There's also a lot of support in terms of, when I reached out to even find a place to put him, I spent January, February, March, April, 4 months really looking and not finding the place that was a good fit for him. They were too big. The people were too old. They were too far along. It was just not a good fit, and I couldn't do it. And so I actually got assistance in help someone who does this for a living. And they found in the first day a place that was perfect. So I think, but I didn't know about those resources until I got into those groups with those people who actually do know about those resources. So getting a support group. And then I have found therapy to be very helpful for me, in that my therapist is constantly saying to me, I don't want you to feel guilty. I don't want you to feel, of course, that's how you feel, because there are some things that have been really challenging along the way, and are with any grief. I'm the parent now. This is a parent-child relationship. And so things are very different. And she's just like really coaching me to be gentle on myself, with myself, allowing myself to have all the range of emotions, whatever those are, when I'm sad, when I'm mad, when I'm happy, that they're all fine. And so I think, give yourself the space. If you have a day where you need to just sit on the couch and be in jammies and watch a show and chill out, fine, do it. But don't feel guilty about it. Just do it. And then it's try to pick yourself back up, go try to hit the gym, go try to get good food and water, and go out with friends and family and do the things that make you happy. I take a lot of baths. I like the feeling of being in a bath. It feels very comforting. It feels very relaxing. And so I do that a lot now, more than I ever did before, because when your body feels good, your mind can feel better. And so in living in the present moment, that means we're not feeling guilty. We're not thinking behind us of, oh, I should have, or if only I would have, or those kinds of thoughts. You really are doing your best every day, and you're giving yourself credit for doing your best every day. And then you're just glad for the day, and you are living in the moment and taking a deep breath and thinking, this is going to pass. Wherever I am right now, it's not where I'm going to be 3 months from now. It's going to be a different place. So as hard as it might be today, 3 months from now will be different. Whatever it looks like, I don't know, but it will be different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's really lovely, Darlene. And also your book, Become Empowered, Echoes of Grace and Strength. It offers deep insights into health and resilience. So additionally, if our listeners would like to read, what key takeaways or practical advice do you hope readers will apply in their own lives after going through your book?
Yeah, I think one of the things I love about this book is that it's a story of 12 different women's journeys through very difficult things, and how they came out on the other side. And so, the book, which is available on Amazon and actually was immediately a bestseller, sort of really surprised me. But it was, I think, because everyone is going through hard things in life. And sometimes we don't see that. Sometimes Facebook or our social media, Instagram, platforms, they don't show those hard times. They show beautiful lives and people having wonderful times, and you think, wow, that person's really got it together and they're living the high life. And yet when you actually dig behind the covers, a lot of people are going through very hard things. And I think what this book does is it opens up and actually is very vulnerable in the exposure of very tough things that people have been through, the things that they, and the changes that came about to provide a good life in the end. That there's hope even after very tough things can happen to you.
Definitely. Well, Darlene, thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing your incredible journey of perseverance, resilience, and success, and also insights on stem cell activation, mindfulness, and navigating grief with grace. And your story, your journey is not only inspiring, but I believe it's also empowering, offering a path to better health for so many of us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sana. And thank you for what you do. Thank you for your podcast. Thank you for helping people understand how important mindfulness is every single day, every single minute of every single day. And I've listened to, over 10 of your podcasts, and they're all so helpful for anyone and everyone. And so thank you for the energy and the effort and the goodness that you're putting in the world. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Darlene, for your kind words. And listeners, be sure to check out Darlene's work and her best-selling book as well, and also explore the amazing potential of stem cell activation technology for your own well-being. Until next time, remember to stay mindful, stay present, and continue your journey towards better health and healing. Thank you.